I'm live. I hope you can hear me. I'll try and raise my voice a little. Just get my video started. And so I can see the comments on my screen. It says I'm live. That's a good sign. Had a little bit of problem with the internet this morning, as you do when you want to do a live. So that was a bit daunting and I got a little bit stressed. Turn my sound off on my computer so we don't get that echo. So welcome and happy card making, World Card Making Day. It's exciting to be able to do this, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator and I have all my details here. So what I'm going to do is just say hi and talk a little bit about what's in the catalogue, and then I'll pop the camera up on my stand here, which is why that's there in my face. So I do have my picture on, so I'll just make that a bit bigger so I can see any comments. So make sure you comment if you pop in and say hi to me so that I know you're there. That'll be great. It'll be up on my site later though to watch if you're busy right now. Some of you are busy doing markets and things like that, and it's such a beautiful day outside. I think I'll plan to do an outdoor session in the future. That'll be fun to do a little bit of card making out there. So what I thought I'd do today is on the front of the catalogue there's some lovely pictures, and that's from the Lovely You bundle. So I've just pulled a few different things out, and I know I'm surrounded by my mess. Gets a bit messy when you start carding. It's like you just get so carried away. It's a lot of fun, and then I end up with stuff everywhere, and it's like, yeah, clean it up again and start again. So yesterday, I don't know if you saw any of my posts yesterday, I made a little card which I have up here, this one, just using a few different things, and I'm trying to keep it simple. You don't have to do it big and flourishy, or you can if you want to. You know, that's one of the things I love about stamping and card making. It's fun and easy, or it's hard, you know, depends what level you're at. So you can come into it just doing simple things and keeping it very simple, or you can create really exciting artworks. So wherever you want to go with it, that's a lot of fun. So there's another little video about this yesterday. Pop that back up on my thing. And my next card, I do run card classes as well online, and I've been doing that by Zoom because we can't, well, I'm not meeting in person yet. So I'm going to be doing that on a day without coffee. I love that. It says a day without coffee is like, just kidding, I have no idea. So I really like that too. That's a good one. So I've got a tea towel to match that now as well, which is behind me, but you can't see all that. So let's get on and do a bit of carding. If you've got some card things that you'd like to do at the same time, that'll be fun, and you can always send them in a message later, or post them to me, and I'll send them to me and I'll post them on the page. That'd be great. I'll just hop up now and grab my video. Just a moment. Just bear with me for a second. Might be a little bit noisy. I'll try and be as quiet as I can. Just get my video down the right way. Right. There we go. Hopefully you'll be able to hear me a bit better now too, because I'm a bit closer to the camera. It's always a bit of a problem. Okay, so I've downloaded this from Stampin' Up's helpful website, and as a demonstrator I can get access to extra little things, and this is one of the sheets that they've provided for us to use to do classes, or just to, you know, meet with people and make some cards. So I'll just show you the stamp set. It's the Lovely You stamp set I'm using, and I thought I'd just try one of these for now, and we'll have a little play with that. Okay, so I'll just pop that over there so I can see it. As you can see, I've been practicing a little bit. No, that was yesterday. So I always have an extra piece of paper. Stampin' Up! Provide these nice graph sheets of paper, and you can use them to line things up on if you want to. It's got inches on one side and centimetres on the other. I just happen to have it on this side. And I've got all my information up here if you want to contact me, or if you want to put an order in. There's my host code for this month, and that goes on to a workshop order. So if a few people order, that means it all goes on to one order for me, and then if I'm the hostess today, so I'll get the Stampin' Up! Rewards, which means I can get extra products for free and then give them back to my customers. So I always send a thank you gift if you make a purchase, and yeah, we'll talk about that more another day. So this is the stamp set. So on the sample I have today, they've used some of the pool party cardstock for the, so I'm looking at this one here, this card here. You're my person. So of course you can change up what you put on here. You don't have to put what they've got on the samples, and that's another, you know, it's totally up to you what you put on your card. So even in my card classes, I have a preset card like this, but often people may not even have the stamp set we're using, especially at the moment with COVID. Some people haven't got everything they need, so they just use what they have, and you know, that's great. And they're creating, and it's just such a fun thing to do. I really relax doing it, and I found my class relaxes doing it, and we just go into another place. It's a bit like meditation in a way, and it's just good to create. And then even, you know, because you can share it with other people and send someone a really nice message, and, you know, give them some encouragement and uplift them as well. So I haven't decided which one I'm going to use today. I'll just start with the actual card bit. So I always score the card first. Just got to move a couple of things in the background over here. So this is the trimmer, and one end has a scoring tool and one end has a cutting blade. I've already cut, so I'll just score now, and because my card is 21 centimetres wide, I need to score at 10.5. I'm not sure if you can see that because I've got the computer in the way. I'll just score that. And then we just fold the card like this, and I just match up my corners a bit here. And then just use the bone folder to smooth that down. And then I turn it over, because I've smoothed on that side, I turn it over so that that's on the back. I'm just going to keep this other piece of paper handy for my stamping. Pop the pool party out of the way. Have a pool party. Right, what have we got? I'm going to find my stamp. Okay, so we need another piece of pool party card. So I'm going to cut another one of those. And does it tell me what size, or will I work it out myself? Let me see. Piece of pool party. I'm just checking the instructions, what they've got written here. Okay, so I'm going to go about a centimetre in. So I will cut that. Let me see if I can get my cutting thing on the table for you. Okay. So I'm going to cut it first in half so that I can use the other side for another card later. And then I'm going to cut this one. So I want it in, you know, at about, where's my ruler? I want to come in, looks like about 1/2 inch, but I'm working in centimetres, so I'm going to come in about one centimetre. So because that card is 10.5 wide, I'm going to cut it at 9. So I line it up on the 9 here, And I always try and cut at the top and emboss at the bottom, just for my mental state, so that I don't cut through, and I've done it, cut through cards when I want to emboss them, score them. So I try and keep my cutter up that end so that I'm cutting up there. So I'm going to go, yep, 9, I think 9, oh, maybe I need a centimetre each side, don't I? Let me have a, so I'll double check. Maybe I'll go 8 and have a little bigger gap. A little bigger gap, do you like that? A bigger gap. Yeah, looking at that, I think I'll do that at 8. Okay, let's go 8 instead. Be bold. Chop it off. Okay, so then that's going to sit on there like that. And then I want the other one. I like to line things up and look at them before I do things and get the visual happening. On my class kit instructions, when I run my classes, I have all the instructions written out for you, so you don't need to do all this if you don't want to. So I think I'll go about 12.5, so that'll come in, what have we got? We've got about 12 on either side, haven't we? I'll go, yeah, let me think for a second. So my complete cut off was to 24, so I'll take 24 off. But if that was that way, I'm going to take 24 off. So you can either work it out so you're calculating up here, or you can do it over this side. So I want to take 24 off, so I'm going to use 24 on this side. Chop. Okay. Right, there we go. So we have our little piece that we're going to stick on the front. So I'm going to do all my cutting first, and then I'll do my stamping while I've got the cutting machine on the table. Paper trimmer. Right, now we need a bit of, what have we got over here? I've already got some things cut out. Oh, not quite the one I want. Okay. So for You're My Person, it has a little white piece across there. So I'm just going to cut that. Now on the punch that we're going to be using, you can actually punch 3 different sizes of strips here. So if you can see that, it's got the dotted lines on there. Okay, and on the sheet it's talking about using the pick a punch Whisper White 76 centimeters by 1.9. So we'll go with that. Which way will I go? Which way will I go? I think I'll cut it, I'll just cut it off, 76. So I'm measuring here, 76. Cut it. And then it said 1.9. So you can either, again, go this way or that way. I'm going to go this way. 1.9 is almost 2. And there's our little piece. So that will be for this piece, okay? And we're going to trim the end of it in the punch when we're done. I won't trim it just yet though. Just pop it over here. And then, now my printed copy, my printer's not working very well. So the colours on this sheet are not very good. But I have saved the document for you. So if you want a copy of this, just let me know in the comments and I'll send you a message and send it to you. Okay, so we want Daffodil Delight. Believe it or not, that's yellow. I'll just grab my Daffodil Delight. There you go, that's for the colour. It's a little different, isn't it? So it's got the measurements on here. So the Daffodil Delight is 8.3 by 1.3. So I'm going to go 8.3 up here. and then 1.3. So I'm going to come back over to this side. And I am left-handed and right-handed and ambidextrous, so I flip and, swap and change all the time. 1.3. All right, that looks right, doesn't it? Let's double check if you're not sure. 1.3, yeah. 1.3. Chop it off. If in doubt, do it again. So that's a smaller piece. Okay, that's that one. And the other one is Magenta Madness, and that's 8.9 by 2.5. This is pretty, isn't it? I love the colour. 8.9 by 2.5. That one's the bigger one. Okay. So that's all I have to cut for that one. Now I'm going to put my trimmer over there. And as you'll see on here, that fits just nicely, see? They've done them. And that one's a little bit off. Might have to trim that. I'll just hold it straight. And that one fits in the middle there. Right, okay. So we've done all our cutting. Just put my punch over there. Right, I need to decide what I'm going to do with my words. So what will I do today? You're my person, just because. Let's cheer you up. Oh. I like love. That one's a bit bigger though, isn't it? I might put that on the other card. Cherished friend. Trust me, you're lovely. I think I'll go just because. And just because. There we go. So, to put the stamps, some of the stamps. So these are cling stamps. Let me find another set that are not cling. I have one around here somewhere. A lot of stamps around here somewhere. Let me just find one. Okay, so that one's a cling. This is the photopolymer stamp set. So these ones are clear, like that. So they both attach to the blocks the same way, but these ones are thinner, so they're better to stamp on a pad, a bit of a foam pad. The cling stamps, because they've already got foam in them, you can just stamp them like that. So I'll just show you, I'll have to get this out to show you how to do this. What did I go with? Where's just because? Have I used it already? Hang on a minute. I've just got to find it. Just because. What does it look like? Just because. Having trouble reading backwards. I'm having trouble reading backwards. Here it is. Just because. Okay. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. So I'll do two while we're at it. What stamps are we going to be using? These ones, we're going to be using those stamps, and just because. I've just got to find just because. I think that's it. Just because. And in the packet it does show you instructions on how to put the stamps onto the stickers onto the stamps. Just pop that over there. So they look like this, and you just pop them out. All right. So I've already popped some out, as you can see. And that one doesn't have a sticker on it. I'll put my sticker on that one. I was playing with that one yesterday. Okay, so one way to do it is if you peel off half of the sticker covering, which one have I got? This one. You take off the whole stamp covering, and then you line it up with the outline of the, so you just make sure you got it right, because it's really hard to get them back off. It is possible, but it's not very nice. So I line it up along there, and sorry if my head's in the way a little tiny bit. Oops, I bumped the thing. Okay, and then just press it on. And you can see it's lined up all the way around. And then you can pull this side out and take off the other bit. And then carefully push it back down to line up again and give it a good push. Press, 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 press. Peel, peel. There we go. And then I usually put it on my clothes like this, on one end of it, so that it doesn't stick too hard to your block or the packet when you put it back. Otherwise it's hard to get it off. So that puts a tiny little bit of fluff on the edge of it. Good practice. I've had trouble getting some of them off. All right, so that's one of them. The other way I do it is take the sticker off like this. And no, don't put that on there yet. No, don't put that on there. Just because. Let's go find here is just because. So I'm going to peel the whole sticker off this time like this. And pop it on my stamp block like that. All right, because this is where it's going to be when you stamp it. Peel that off. So it also depends what size stamp you're doing. Right, and then you can see right through it. That's good. So you can see the outline. Now the other thing I've noticed is it's good to have it on something that is a totally different, like not white. Not white, like green. The dark green of my mat is good. I'm going to use the pink note, and I'm hoping I don't have my head in your way. I used to get right over the top of this, so I'm just going to put it down and press firmly. And there you go. Just because. My sticky note back over there. So that's how you put, I'll just pop this one on while I'm at it. I forgot to do that. I can't do that thing with my shirt until I get it off. Okay, I'll get it off, put it on my shirt a bit. And there we have a little bit of sticky. Now I'll just get the flower and do that one as well. So what are you all up to today? Oh, hi Athena, sorry, I was looking down at the table paying attention to what I was doing and I didn't see you there. How are the markets going? She's watching in between waves of people. That's a good sign, isn't it? Athena's one of my recruits. We met at the markets and we've become good friends to doing this and markets, and yeah, it's been great. And Athena makes really nice diaries and art diaries, art journals. I think I better get the words right. Art journals. So she's having a quick look at my live in between things. Really busy. Good. That's great news. And such a beautiful day out there. That's really good. Your work is very beautiful, Athena. So Athena's also doing Stampin' Up! And selling her products at markets. Now, I've done those stamps. I'll take that one back off. I'll put a bit of stuff on there. So I usually put them back in the box and just put them down on the bottom. Once I've done them all, I'll have them all down the bottom like that. But for now, we'll just stick it in there like that. We'll use some of those a bit later. For this situation, right, you're my person. Okay, I think I'll do that one first. So they've suggested we use inks of, where's my ink? Stamped images in Pool Party. Oh, that's the little background stamp. And You're My Person is in the black Stays On. So I've got my Stays On ink out. And just so you know about Stays On, there's two different inks that they're selling like this in black. Let's go find my page. Just a moment, please. Okay, in the catalogue, watercolour dot card journals. Yes, very handy. That's Athena. She's selling watercolour dot card journals, so you can create things and paint with them. So if you're looking for Athena, she's at the Glenbrook markets today. And other days. You just have to check out her Athena craft page. So in the catalogue we have StazOn and we have Memento. So it tells you that the StazOn is a permanent ink for stamping images to watercolour, also for non-porous surfaces like window sheets, and you clean it with a special StazOn cleaner. So I will clean it in my chamois today, when I find my chamois, I'll put it somewhere. And then with the other one, it's Memento, used with Stampin' Blends. So with the StazOn, you can use that with markers. So I've put that on the back, markers, so I remember. And the markers are the same sort of ink as the ink pads, these sort of, no, the big ink. Got the wrong ink pads on the page. The bigger ink pads, these ones here. Okay, so they're bigger. They look like this. And I'm using the uninked ink spots, and I'm using the refill inks to put on these ones to make I just did it to try that. They're little, easier to store and take places. So that's the two different inks I'm using. So today I'm using the StazOn. I'll just grab that out. Now with the StazOn, it comes with an extra little plastic cover. See you, Athena. Thanks for coming in. Good luck. Athena's off to play markets. To sell things. Right, where's my stamp? I put it away, did I? And you know what the trick to all this is, don't you? It's really easy to lose a stamp when it gets stuck on something, like the other day. Or should I say like today? I've already lost it. That's really funny, and here it is. It's always stuck to something, okay? It's always stuck to something. Here it is. Just because I put the catalogue on top of it, that's why. All right, so I put my stamp down. It depends on what I'm doing, but for today I just put the stamp down and I just pop it on there like that. Now some people like to put it on here and line it up and line everything up. I'm not worrying about that today. It depends what I'm doing, like I said. And you just push it on, and then when you stamp it, I might move that out of the way so I can see the lines. So if you pop it on your lines like this, and it's going to be down one end a bit, so I'm going to do it like that. So I just position it over the top and have a look at what I'm doing and just make sure I can see it all. Just realised I bumped that before, and I think we're out of alignment a little bit. I'll just wait a second till I get my screen back in place. There's a bit of a delay on the video to my laptop. Okay. So I just ink it up by tapping gently, not too hard. I don't want to press down too hard. And then have a look at your stamp and double check how much ink you've got on there. Now I haven't used this one before, so you can either clean it on the chamois first. It's a good idea to get rid of the residue, but I forgot to do that just now. And I'm just going to stamp it over there, and that's stamping very nicely. I really like this set of stamps. It stamps really well. All right, my screen's nice and straight now. I'll just tap that again. And just double check it. Yep, I'm happy with that. Are you happy with that? I hope you can see it. I can't see it on the screen yet. Let me have a look. Yep, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put it on there. And then I just look at it. I tend to just look at it. I do have my early working background was doing cut and paste for pre-press artwork, which is probably one of the reasons I love making cards, because I love making cards. I really enjoyed doing that work. So I used to actually draw everything with a pen, you know, all the forms and things like that, all the, you know, invoice books, all of that. Before computers did it, I was doing pre-press artwork. So I just love the cut and paste. Everything, you know, had to be straight and lined up, and I just love it. And yeah, I think that's why I'm still doing this and really enjoying it. And I just want to share it with everyone, you know, and teach people. So that's my Just Because, and I've cleaned my stamp on my chamois straight away, and I will clean that further with my Stays On cleaner later. So I'm just going to close that. Now, one thing you need to be mindful of with using Stays On ink, I do have the door open a little behind me because it does have a message on the back to say use it in a well-ventilated area. Okay, that's a bit smelly. The other one doesn't have that warning on it. Oh, I don't think it does. Let me double check now that I've said that. Let's see what this one says. Quickly dries on most papers. Yeah, this one. This is the Mailto. No, I can't smell that like that. It's not very strong at all. That's another black one. Okay. Right. So there's my Just Because. So I will just I'll pop that aside and we'll do all the punching at the same time. Okay, now I'm going to do my two little bits, one at a time maybe. All right, we're going to do this one with this, and we want the leaves. Where's my leaves? I've got them ready yesterday. See, this one's sticking a bit. I must have forgotten yesterday to do that. That's a beautiful stamp. I love that. Thank you. Let's put a bit of fluff on that. That's out of another stamp set. I can't think of the name of it. It's in the video yesterday. You'll have to go and look at the video. Okay, so this stamp, I'm going to put the leaves on here. There's my leaves. And this one's Daffodil Delight, the colour. And I'm going to do this one upside down like this. So again, depending on what you're doing, I like to do this one like this with the little spots. I tend to do it so I can see the ink on it. I'll just check that. So you can see the ink on it. Yep. Yep. And I'll just do a few of those. So you're only going to do a little bit of this. If you were doing a lot of these cards at once, I would stamp it before I cut the little bits out. I would just stamp a whole lot and then trim them off. But today I just cut them first. So you can get a couple of stamps done off the one and get two, you know, a lighter and a darker effect. Or you can just keep re-inking. And I'm just stamping it on the background paper so that, you know, you just end up with that little bit of stamp there. I'm just going to do that one again. I'll go around a bit this way. That one's gone a bit lighter there, but I think I'll just leave that because I don't want to mess it up. Now, if you had it set, there's another tool called a Stamparatus, which I'll use another day in another video. And that is really handy for lining things up or re-inking the same stamp in the same place if you haven't got enough ink on it. So if you're just learning, well, even if you're not just learning, it's very handy because you can actually have it set up on the thing. I'll just show you quickly what it is, but I'm not planning to use it yet. So it looks like this, and it comes with magnets that are extremely powerful, and you just line up your stamp on there. I've got a couple of stamps lined up already because I sell cards, and I pop it in there like that, and I just stamp that straight down on the back of my card. Well, why don't we just do that straight away? Why don't we use it after all? Okay, because I'm using the thicker stamps, the cling stamps, I don't need to put the spongy bit in. There is a little foam mat that comes with it, and that's to use with your photopolymer stamps. So this is the back of my card here, and I just put the thing on. And I think I'll do this one in I might just use the pool party. Oh no, can't decide. Pool party. Let's go pool party. Let's have a pool party. Okay. We'll see how this goes. And I'll show you what I mean. If I don't like it, I can just re-ink it and go over it. And I don't move it. It's very handy. So on all the cards that I make, I stamp the back of them. So it's a bit hard to see it on there. I can't really see the ink on it. But I'm going to go with the fact that it's there. And put another one there to hold that down because I don't want that sitting up. But if it's sitting up, it'll blur a bit. So I'll just watch my ink pad over there. And just press on it a little bit like that and lift it up. And I didn't do a thing. Look at that. How about that? That was a good example, wasn't it? You know why? Because my mind went, I'm using these, but on here I'm using a photopolymer one. Look at that. I do need the little pad underneath after all. So because I've lined the card up in the corner, it's not going to be a problem to put it back in. It's a good lesson for us all. Let's try that again, shall we? Now that's stuck to my ruler. See, I told you they were very strong. You got to be careful with these. They break, and I've already broken one because they joined with the other one, and that's why I keep them separate now. Okay, they do break, and I've covered them in the washi tape. All right, let me try this again. And just keep in mind when you're doing cards, you know, nothing has to be perfect, and I improvise a lot. Nothing's wrong, it's just different, and you just create it to be, you know, you might start making one thing and you end up making something else because it didn't go the way you planned. Okay, so that's what it looks like. If you're not happy with the ink on there, I'm just going to do that a little bit more. I want a little bit more ink on it, and because it's already lined up on your Stamparatus, it's so easy. You don't have to worry, you know, there's no way I would have lined that up perfectly if I was using just the stamp and looking at it. There we go, that's got a bit more ink on it now. I'm happier with that. And I just get my chamois. There's my chamois. I know that looks really, really used. It didn't take long to look like that, by the way. It's actually clean, I've washed it. And it's just, you just wet it with water. So I did wash it with a bit of mild detergent, but then just rinsed it out really thoroughly, and you just use water on it and you just wipe the ink off your stamps. I keep it in this container, one of their stamp boxes. You can actually buy the cases from Stampin' Up, and I just keep it in there with it shut most of the time. And it does dry out quite hard actually if you don't use it for a while. So I just keep re-wetting it. You know, I'm using it a fair bit, so it's moist, and I just wash it out. So that's that. That's the Stamparatus, and it has got to be one of my favourite tools, and probably one of the first things I bought because I was so impressed with it. You can do a lot of things with it. You can do all different, you know, cards with different layers and things like that. So that's what it looks like, just handcrafted just for you. And then I stamp my byfihandcrafts in the middle with another stamp. Okay, so that's the back of the card. We've done the back of the card. Woohoo! Now let's do this one. Let me put my pink over there for a minute. What have we got on this one? This is the leaves. And again, the reason I put it down on the table first is so that it doesn't change shape. So if you put it onto the block yourself, you might stretch it a bit, or especially with the photopolymer ones, more so than these. But I just pop it on there, pop it on there. And we want to just stamp. Now we're going to stamp, so it's called, you know, we're just stamping off the edge of the card a bit so that we get the look we want. And I want to use Pool Putty, which I have open already. I'll get my ruler out of the way. All right, so for this one I am going to do this because the stamp's a little bit bigger. And like I said, just do what you're comfortable with, what works for you, what gets the good coverage. Okay, I always stamp one first before I do it because I just want to make sure, yep, that's working for me. Yep, that's good. Okay, and off we go. Woohoo! Okay, so this is basically, you can do whatever you like with this. On the pattern, on the sample, it's like that. They've just got them, on the corner. It's totally, you could use a totally different stamp and do a few different ones, I just thought I'd use this because I liked it. And I'm just going to put one there. And again, if you wanted the subtle changes, like of the stamping, like the first stamp is there, the second one looks like that, the third one looks like that, it gets lighter and lighter. So it depends what you want. I think I'll keep going with, I don't know, I just tend to look at it and go, yeah, I like that. So I tend to make cards a lot by feel and looking at it, and it's got to feel right. That's me. And this one. Oh, they've got another one down here. I'm going to try and copy what they've got. So if you stamp a little bit off like this, just remember that you've got to re-ink your stamp, because I'll just stamp the rest of that off because you've used the top bit. I've done that before. I've made that mistake. I've stamped off the edge like this, and then I've gone to do the second one, and half of the stamp is still all inked up because it didn't hit the paper properly. All right, and come in there. And I might do this one lighter. Across there. Because don't forget, we're going to cover some of this up. So some of this is going to be covered by the cards. I'll just come in from the top. Turn that one around. Got it off to the side. It's fun. I do love this colour too. I don't know if you've noticed on my page, but I do love this colour. Love it. Right. I think that'll do. Now the other thing you can think of too is, they haven't got it on there, but I often put a white piece of card inside my cards. So I'm just going to use this piece today because I've already got it. And I'm just going to put it down there, down the middle like that. And I think while I've got the stamp out, I'll do a little bit of that. Actually, you know what? I think I'll do it around the edge a bit so that you can see it underneath the card. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to do different ones so that some are lighter and some are darker. Sorry, did you hear me? Some are lighter and some are darker. I keep forgetting I've got to talk louder when I'm doing this. I'm going to do a bit of it so I get a bit of a border happening. So when I put this over the top, you'll only see a little bit. Do one upside down. Do another one like that. What do you think? What do you think? Right, and that way, that'll be stuck in there. And when you open the card, you'll see that, and you'll write on that bit, okay? Pop that over there. Ooh, nice, like it, like it. Alrighty. Wash my stamp. So I'm just cleaning my stamp like that, just rubbing it, just checking it's clean. And when I'm finished for the day, the StazOn's different, we already talked about that. For the rest of the stamps, I've got this nice Stamp and Scrub And if you open it up, this side is the wet side, so I spray it with a bit of the Stampin' Mist. Not usually on my table, but I'll just do a little bit there. Okay, and then you just clean your stamp like that, and that really gets in and cleans your stamps well. It's good to finish the day doing this so that all your stamps are nice and clean. All right, and it's like a furry. I'll bring it up higher. Can you see it? It's got a bit of brushy texture to it. It's a bit hard to see in this light. You can see the edge of it there. Okay, and that comes like that from Stampin' Up. And it actually has pictures up in the corner for the little moisture symbol, the little droplets, and this side's the dry one. It closes up and then stores on my desktop very nicely. Okay, let's get going. Right, now we're going to do this one, and we need that little flower stamp. Have I done that one yet? Oh, I haven't put the label on yet. We better do that. I deliberately left them off so I could show you. Show you how I can't get the back off. It's not true. Right, what's the time? Oh, golly. 11:48. We're nearly finished. Time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? Right, I'll just pop one of these stamps off and put it back in the case because because otherwise you lose them. They get stuck on things. Okay, just pop my stamp on there. Yeah, last week was funny. I was using the Dauber box last week, and that's clear. So, you know, I didn't see the stamp at all. And I was like, where could it be? But I picked the box up to put it away and felt it underneath. I went, aha, that's where it's gone. And it was a clear stamp, so it was a lot harder to see. Now, this is going to be tricky because the flowers, look at the shape of it. I'm actually just going to put it on top of here so I can see through. All right, there is a bit of a shape to that, which is very handy. So if you can see through there, you can see there's a bit of a shape around the outline. And to make sure I get that lined up right on my stamp. There we go. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a bit harder to get off. There we go. Just use your fingernail. If you haven't got a fingernail, Stampin' Up have a handy little tool like this, a little spatula. And you can just get that underneath the edge of it. Okay, that's the take your pick tool. Just leave that up there. All right, let me just put a bit of my fluff on there. Some fluff on there. I'll use this one. So there's different size blocks. I've got this size block here as well with my Stampin' Up stamp on it. That's also good for the flowers, but I'm just using this one today. So we'd use some Magenta Madness. Haha, I love that name. Right, I'm going to just stamp it first to make sure. Get out of the way a bit. Right, that's a real big. Ooh, look at that stamp. That might be nice to stamp. So I like the second generation of that one. That's nice, isn't it? And if you're not sure, because this is, you know, it's quite a colourful card, you're not going to see through it. I'm going to just stamp one on there and see what it looks like. You're not going to see through the other side. I don't know whether I want the full or the half. So I'm trying it on here. I actually like the half. Maybe I'll do both. Okay, I'm going to turn it over there and use this one. Now, see how there's a couple little scraggly bits on my paper there? I just use an old nail file. And it's in my desk somewhere. No, it's not on my desk. It's on my desk over here. I found it. Okay, I'll just scrape it off a little bit like that. Just the edges, okay? Okay. Right, let's try that. I'll just do a few stamps, and I'm going to do the second generation as well. Now see what I did then? Did you see that? I forgot. I'd stamped that one and missed the edge bit, and then I stamped that one. You see it? Yes, I can see it. So that end is going to be cut off, I believe, when I put it in the thing. Actually, I might just go back to this side. I might just go back to this side. And stamp these like this. Stamp it off first and then stamp it on there. Oops, it is. Got that in the way. Rightio. Clean my stamp. Right, we've got all our little pieces. Move that out of the way. And we're just going to put them all together. So with this one, yeah, what shape did they use? You undo your stamp like this, your punch, sorry, slide that down and it pops open. And that's what the bottom of it looks like, okay? So we'll use the flat, they're using this side. So I'll just pop that through there. And that gives you that end. You see that? And pop the pink one in. I think I'll pop that one in that way. I think I'll pop it in. Hang on. It's not going in. Oh. Just got to push it in a bit. It's a bit tight, that's all. It's just a bit tight. So when you've pushed it in, it goes right up to the end here, see? Sorry, where's it gone? See how it's up here? So if you had a piece that wasn't quite that width, you can still do it and you can still center it. The other day I had one that was in between, but I just made sure I centered it across it. And as long as you check the back of it there, that looks all right. And push it down, pop it out, it looks like that. So this one here, see how that's a little bit off? I think it's because that was a tiny bit too big. So I'm going to cut that off. Oops, sorry. Sorry, bumped you again. It's hard working with that. This is my little mini cutter. And I'm going to, you can actually lift this thing up to hold it. This is going to be tricky. But I'm going to give it a go because I think it's easier than using the other one. I might be wrong. And I am a Stanley knife girl, so I do tend to cut things with Stanley knives, but not so much anymore. I've been using the trimmers and they've been really good. So I'm just lining that up across the edge here. You might not be able to see that, but I can't lift it up to show you, sorry. Lined that up. I'm going to just go zoom, zoom, zoom. There we go, look. Got that little tiny bit off. So let's check our measurement on that one, shall we? So that one, yeah, they see that slides in a bit better now. Just pop my cutter back over there. Yep, that's better. I must have had it just a little bit off when I was cutting it. A little tiny tad too big, so that's better. You can see it on there. The ends are more even now. So just, mine wasn't sliding in properly, so just make sure it's sliding in properly to get it totally even. But like I said, if it's halfway between, it's okay because you can still, so this one's not quite, see, it's not going to fit right in. So I'm going to have to trim a tiny bit off that as well. see if I can do it. What was the measurement on the white piece? It was 1.9. So on here, I must have had it not quite lined up right. You just have to sing. I wonder what you sing for World Card Making Day. It's very small. Look at that. Look how good that trimmer is. I love it. The mini cutter. It's very, very good. Okay, now just because we'll just slice off this end. See, that's sliding in much better now. Just put that in and go. I've got that the right way around, haven't I? Upside down, yep. If in doubt, check again. Right, there's my little end bits. And okay, so when you're putting these together, just position them. I mean, look, it's up to you where you put them. We're going to chop some off. So this is going to be on the card here. And we're going to pop that up a little bit. So I might do that first. And I'll put that up. Some little mini dimensionals. You can use big ones if you want to. I'm going to do it so it's popped up a little bit. You don't have to. You could put it flat and just use your, you know, some of this or some of that. Some of this or some of that. But I'm going to use these. I want it to sit up. And I'm just going to pop 2 in the middle. Okay. Now this tool is really handy for getting these off if you don't have fingernails. Okay, you can just go like this. I've watched people do this. Much better than me. That one's not coming off. That one doesn't want to come off. It's really stuck on. Hang on a second. Maybe it turned over. I think that one was something else. Like it was the other side of it first and it got moved. So that one does not want to come off for my demonstration. Oh. It's still sticky. So that's good. Right, if you go in the middle like that, they come off. Look at that. I love that. Just stab it in a bit and pull. Stab it and slide. No, too many on there. No, I'm digging at that one. Some of these aren't coming off as easy as they usually do. There we go. Ta-da. Right, done. And with your take a pick tool, always put your lid back on because that can get damaged fairly easily if you're not careful. If it gets dropped on the floor or anything like that. Now, which way did I have that before? That way? That way. All right, so I just position this, and again, it's up to you how you put it on, but I just look at it. So if you use your mat underneath, I'll crook it here. You can line it up on your mat a bit if you don't have other things stuck to it. Because it might put you off if you're doing it on the diagonal. I can do it, but I'll just do it this way for now. And just sort of center it. So I sort of bend it a little bit like that so I'm not putting all of them down at once. You don't want to stick them all down at once. And before I do that, I can see that I've got a couple of little rough edges from when I cut it before. I think I need to change my blade. You can buy replaceable blades for those cutters, for the trimming. just sort of centering it in the middle of the card and looking at the lines down the side. And if you really wanted to, you could measure it first and make sure you've got it on the right spot. I tend to look down the card as well, like this, to make sure it's straight. And I'm quite happy with that. So I actually look down the card. That's how I line things up. All right, now we're almost done. Look. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? So that's going to go there, and that's going to go there. And, oh, we don't have to trim them off. There we go. They all just fit on perfectly. All right, so on the back of here, I noticed them do this. Watch this little trick. Watch this little trick. Now, you could use your stamp and seal, or I might get a bit of tear and tape out. Or you could just stick them on individually. So tear and tape just tears. That's what it's called, tear and tape. It just tears off. So I'm actually going to put them together like this. And my tear and tape on the edge like that. Look. Oh, that one's too long, so I'll go a bit diagonal. A bit diagonal. We don't need too many. Let's put one on the end here. Hold that bit. And do another one down here. Now if you don't like the tear off bits, you can use your snips. And the other thing you can do to tear off tape is, hang on a minute, I'll do another one and show you. Is you can use one of your little ink spots or a block and tear it up like that, and you get a nice little smooth edge. Okay. Right, I think we've got plenty of tear and tape on there. All right, and then just because goes on the top of there. And just for the fun of it, I'll use something different. So this is called Stamp and Seal Plus, and it's quite a strong adhesive. There is Stamp and Seal as well on my desk somewhere. Oh, it's buried. Sorry, there it is. I found it. Everything gets buried after a while. There's the Stamp and Seal. So the same packet, you can fit the refills in either of the packets and the outer casing. This one's Stamp and Seal, so it's not as strong. It's okay for doing simple card attachment like this, but if you were doing something with a bit more texture in it, like an embossed folder thing, then it's better to use the stronger one, the Stamp and Seal Plus. I like the way the Stamp and Seal Plus comes out a bit. For me, for some reason, I have a little bit more trouble with this one, but I'm discovering if you start on another bit of the glue, it'll probably work okay on this one because I've just wound it on, or not. It depends on your angle. See? If I wind it up a little bit to get the glue happening, there's the glue there. The glue's on the edge there. Okay, so as long as the glue is on the edge, and then you just roll it along, and then just lift it up. Okay? I know I keep saying okay. Okay? Can you see the glue on there? It's a bit hard to tell, isn't it? There it is. Right. And then we're just going to pop that on there. About there, I think that'll do. Just because. Okay, now let's go. So this is the card that I was casing, and this is the one that I'm actually making. Now I've actually not lined that up perfectly at the end there, look. I don't know if you can lift that stuff up once you put it down. I haven't tried before. Let's try. Ooh, let's try. Nah, it's not going to come. Okay, so because I wanted it to be flush with the edge of that, I'm going to trim that edge right off a little bit. And use my little trimmer. Put that right up the top. And I'm just going to trim it down. Missed the edge of it. I missed the edge of it. Let's try that again. Could be because I got the glue on the back too. There we go. Nice. Lovely. And because it's, you know, we're just making a card, you can do whatever you like with it. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Okay, so then we just need to peel off all the pieces. And so you can use your finger for this, fingernails, or again, you can use your take a pick tool. Now I always push the tape down first and then lift the paper, because sometimes, yeah, there you go. Otherwise the tape comes up with it. Last one. Yep, that one's going to do it today. Oh dear. Right. Okay. And we just pop it on about there. About there. Line it up. Looks about right. Okay. I'm going to bling, because I've done the words over here a bit more. I'm going to put a bit of bling there. Let me find my bling box. Here's my bling box. Look at this. Oh, bling. Yeah, I think I'll go with it. In colour. I'll go with an in colour dot. And I'll just use my take a pick tool to get them off. They're sticky already, so you don't need to do much with them. A little bit of fluff on that one. A bit of fluff on it. There we go. Just because. And I'm going to use a yellow one as well to match the things. Oh, that's come off the thing. It's come off its thing. Not sure if that one will stick now. Pulled it off the colour. Just because. And we might use a green one as well. Just jade. Just jade. Just jade. Up there? Yep, I think it's going there. Just because. There we go, and then you can write your own message inside it. And we'll just pop that in there. I'll just use my Tombow, and then we'll be done. Sorry, I've got a pre-cut bit on there. Right, now just position that sort of in the middle. We're done. We're done. Ta-da! Just because. There we go. So I hope you enjoyed that today. I did. It's always lots of fun. And I'll be back at 1 o'clock and to show you my goodies that I bought. And luckily they came today, so that I thought, good, we can open a box and do that later. Okay, so I'll see you a bit later. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time. If you want any information about workshops or purchasing products or even just learning how to make cards, just let me know. All right, thanks.